So there's no way to sugarcoat that. That for the Buccaneers, some news going on today about Baker's status, what we're going to be doing for the upcoming game against the Cardinals, and just really how to explain that disaster, that debacle of a game last night. I'm Sebastian Buccaneers Digest. Let it all out here, guys. We are in the panic zone, danger zone. Buccaneers season is in jeopardy. We'll see if we lose the division lead tonight. Get with the Panthers 49ers game. We might not even have our starting quarterback for this upcoming week or however long. But we're going to talk about all that news in just a second. Subscribe, please. We are trying to make it to 3,000 subscribers. Last night's stream was rough. It was brutal. It was just hard to watch all around. But thank you to everyone who was there and was, we were all experiencing the pain together. And but so now here we are, and we have a lot to talk about. Speaking of, the main topic, Baker Mayfield. So Adam Schefter today reported that pre-MRI, the Buccaneers believe Baker Mayfield suffered a sprained AC joint in his left shoulder. Per sources, there was no fracture and no structural damage. One source said the Buccaneers are not ruling out Mayfield for Sunday's game against the Cardinals, but today's MRI will tell more. Obviously, this is Baker's left arm, not his throwing arm, but still, it's hard to throw with one arm. And it was in a sling coming out of out of halftime, and he was on the sideline while Teddy Bridgewater stepped in. And then, Rick Stroud reported that Bucs coach Todd Bowles on Baker Mayfield's shoulder injury said that they believe it's an AC joint sprain, but it's too early to tell whether he will be able to play or how much time he will be missing, if any. Hopefully he won't be missing any, but at the same time, hard to say. Adam Slavin had some takeaways. He said that as was the case last week, many doubted the Bucs could come away with the win against a top opponent. However, Tampa Bay fell short. How Tampa Bay fell short was more disappointing because they really never stood a chance against LA. And this was a demoralizing defeat, which once again can be pinned on Todd Bowles. Another embarrassing game where the defense was just picked apart by Matthew Stafford. There's no life or identity on that side of the football. The same issues that have plagued the unit have yet to be resolved. It doesn't seem like they will be either. Report said that Bucs have to be more threatening on first down, but just not sure what they trust Baker to do with at this point. When they try, he's missing reads and throws. He's got to snap out of it, or none of the rest of this matters. He definitely can, but this is the longest he has struggled as a Buck. So there obviously a lot of information going on there. Baker was he only had that one touchdown. Offensive side. Credit to the Rams. Like I said in the stream, they are the better team all around. But I was getting frustrated because, listen, yeah, injuries are one thing, but to look that unprepared and, listen, it's not like, the Rams have a crazy home field advantage or anything. You're just being out, coached, out talented, out everything by the Rams. And it really puts into perspective where you are as a franchise and, your hopes to being a Super Bowl team. That's to me out the window right now. We're just hoping to make the playoffs and keep the division streak going. But I can understand people going like they don't really care about that. They want to make a big change, like a coaching change, like making a big move to get some awesome defensive piece. All of these things are very valid feelings. We've had a lot. This is just another midseason collapse. We're used to this. It's like the Todd Bowles identity. And not just that, but, the defense has looked pretty awful coming out of the bye. 3 straight weeks of really just allowing explosive plays, getting picked apart. Zion McCollum playing probably his worst game ever. Now that extension is looking really rough. Godwin barely did anything, but they're still ramping him up. Cade Otton, I think we might be looking for a tight end after this season. He's in a contract year. He was not able to get an extension going before the season. Probably for the best. Cade is dropping a lot of balls. Devin Culp has yet to really show up because I guess he's just not playing very well in practice. We don't really have an answer at tight end right now, so as good of a blocker as he can be, I think that the Buccaneers will be moving on from Cade. We'll talk more about that in a different video. Ibuka still struggling to really get on the same page with him. Baker and him seem to be off ever since the bye. But like we said, Todd just getting completely been to the Super Bowl twice. He's won. It's, to like, I thought that Todd was like making massive strides, and I've been defending him on here, and I still will. I don't think it's time to fire Todd. I don't think I think that's a pretty big overreaction. But at the same time, the more than you know these embarrassing performances happen against great teams more often than not, especially on prime time. Our guys are just never prepared for the big lights, and when that happens, how are we supposed to expect the Buccaneers to be ready come playoff time? That those are all primetime games. Those are all really tough opponents. Why should we expect anything different in that stance? Like, the only playoff win that the Bucs have under Todd Bowles is that Eagles game. I was at that game, and games, the following week we got our not butts kicked, but I mean, it was a close game for 3 quarters, and the Lions pulled away in the fourth. And then the Washington game, close game, but listen, it is what it is. But the questions, like I said, are deserved for Todd Bowles. I have my own concerns and questions. Defensively, I don't know what's going on, and honestly, I just think that we don't have the cats right now to be competing big time. Pass rush outside of Vita Vea is like non-existent. We're not doing anything to help him. Hassan Reddick is not going to solve all the problems. I'm sorry. Whether he was there or not, that was not going to make a difference, in my opinion. This team is just in such desperate need of an elite pass rusher. It's really just demoralizing. And then on the back end, obviously, we were injured. We're also just linebacking room. Sebastian Georgiev is not the answer. Lavonte David's on the verge of retiring. And, yeah, it's really like Antoine, Lavonte, and Vita are like the only staples on the defense that are consistent. They play consistent. And Lavante's on his way out. So it's like we need to get better on defense in so many different ways. It's not even funny. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think in terms of just the defense and where you think that we need to improve. Regarding the QB again, though, Matt Matera from Peter Report said that if Baker as the starting quarterback, Bridgewater came in the second half of Sunday night's game and completed 8 of 15 passes for 62 yards and was sacked twice. Bridgewater is a well-experienced quarterback in the league, having played 83 games and starting in 65 of them. If he were to start on Sunday for Tampa Bay, it will be his first start since 2022. The 2025 Bucs are 6-5 and still have a lot to play for, as the team can still reclaim the NFC South Division crown. So the season's not over, but like we said, it's perfectly normal for people to be like wondering if a big change is necessary. I mean, we're in year 4 of the Todd. Have to extend him in the offseason. And, these injuries were going to come back to haunt us at some point. Now with Baker hurt, it's like, dude, this just like this season in general, it's just one of those years where you worry that you're just too hurt. Everything's too inconsistent. There's too much rotation, too many holes to plug. And I don't want to create excuses. I'm not. Todd has to. You have to look at what's out there. Like, if you were to fire Todd, I don't know who you go and get to be your answer. There's no. I don't even know if I want Joe Brady, to be honest. Like, I think you see with the Bills how inconsistent that team is offensively. It feels like it's way too Josh Allen reliant. So I'm not sold on that. I've seen some people throw out that maybe Kevin O'Connell is like possibly interested in leaving Minnesota. I don't know if Minnesota would allow that. They'd probably have to force a trade. Coaching trades, they don't happen that often. I think Sean Payton got traded to the Broncos a few years ago. I mean, the Buccaneers did do a coaching trade for John Gruden. When they, Tony Dungy was coaching well, and he actually ended up winning a Super Bowl after he went to the Colts. But it wasn't good enough for the Bucs. John Gruden comes in his first year, he wins our first Super Bowl. So I can see that there is, history behind that move for the Buccaneers, and people are thinking like maybe that's the type of move that needs to be made. It's a hard decision though, and in my opinion, I just want Todd to be part of this culture and part of the front office, whether he's head coaching or not. Just because I think he is just really good for the players, the staff, everyone there. I'm just a Todd Bowles fan. I don't know what to say, but I am also aware that he has his flaws, and he is very much still looking on the outside in terms of being known as one of the top coaches in the NFL. Like, you can win a lot of games, and you can win a lot of the games you're kind of supposed to, but if you can't beat the elite teams and not in a consistent manner, and you're just really not able to get a deep playoff run, that's why people are saying that there's a ceiling on you and your teams, and that's why they're looking for a change. That's why they changed off of Tony Dungy. So it's just interesting. I think that's a conversation worth having, but you never know. I mean, it's just a weird season, a lot of injuries, and I'm not giving up on him yet. That's just kind of the bottom line for me. I hope Baker gets better. I hope we get good news for his arm. The initial reports are good, but we got good reports for Jalen McMillan, and he was out for a little while too. So I don't know. It's rough sledding right now for the Buccaneers, and I'm not really sure where they go from here, except just trying to do their best to get a win, like in their first time in a month against the Cardinals. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit worried, shocked, scared, to say the least. It's a troubling time. I want to end this video though on some good news. Todd Bowles said that Jalen McMillan, Mike Evans, and Kalijah Kancey have been training and working hard to get back. He believes they will all be back before the end of the regular season, but just couldn't say exactly what that date would be. That's nice to hear. Like, we thought that they'd be maybe ready for the playoffs, but it sounds like they'll try and make a comeback for like one of the last 2 games or something, which will be necessary because we'll be facing the Panthers in the season finale, which could be for the division. Who knows? So anyway, watch the game tonight against the Niners and Panthers. Root for the Niners. We'll see what happens, but kind of crazy times right now, troubling times. Let me know in the comments what you think about where we are as a team, as a franchise. Do you think that the Buccaneers need to make a move at head coach? Do you think that it's just a matter of the injuries piling up too much? Let me know. I am curious to hear your thoughts. But until the next video, guys, I'll see you then.